Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. You know, today we're going to be discussing the topic of success. What do you want to be more successful in? Well, many people would say to have more success in their personal finances, or possibly to have an increase with their faith and belief system. Or maybe it's to be more successful in your marriage or to have more successful relationships with children. Certainly all these things are important and they're key components to true happiness. Today we're going to be learning real core principles that'll give us more success not only in our personal life, but in our financial life as well. We're going to be talking with entrepreneur, international speaker, and the increase of wealth master, Bob Harrison is here. Amazing guy, and Bob's going to be sharing with us how to have increase in your life. This is an episode you won't want to miss. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Come experience Nolan's. Savor award-winning steaks, Greek-style cuisine, fresh local seafood, and an extensive choice of wines. Whether you'd like to reserve the large private dining room, enjoy a meal on an outdoor deck, or rock the night away in our lounge, Nolan's, now celebrating 25 years of exceeding your expectations for casual fine dining, live entertainment, and dancing nightly.
Hi, I'm Dan Vega, entrepreneur and host of the Gulf Coast's favorite new talk show, Tuesdays with Dan. Join us every Tuesday where we come together and share success principles that will not only help you in your business, but in your personal life. Don't worry, this isn't some boring business talk show. It's an opportunity not only to hear from your favorite entrepreneurs and celebrity guests, but to receive real value every week. Check us out late night after Jimmy Kimmel and The Insider, or at 8 a.m. on My 35. You won't want to miss it.
Today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm here with amazing Bob Harrison is here as our special guest tonight. And Bob, I'm really excited to talk to you for so many reasons I'm going to get to. But first of all, tell us a little bit about your background and where you come from and how you were raised.
Well, I come out of the business arena. My dad was a theologian, but I chose to go into the business arena and became very successful in that. In fact, my life changed in one day. You know, normally changes of life is a process. But there's sometimes we have moments, defining moments, that literally change the course of our life. And that happened to me. I had a renting and leasing company in Southern California, and I took a customer's car in to get some service work done. And the owner of the dealership was out there. We talked for a few minutes, and he said, "How's business?" And I said, "We just had our best month ever." I said, "How's your business?" He said, "We just had our worst month ever." He said, "We need to talk." So I went into his office, and he said, "I called Chrysler this morning and told them business is so bad, I'm closing the dealership." I said, "Why would you do that?" He said, "Well, the good salespeople left, we're out of money. We still have 100 of last year's new car models in stock, and we're 3 months in the next model year. We can't make it in normal times. We're never making bad times. Shut it down."
At that time, Bob, had you had any experience specifically in the car industry?
Well, I had an automobile renting and leasing company, so I had the same merchandise, but the way you approach it is so different. In the leasing business, because you could lease any make or model of car, it was centered around taking care of customers for repeats and referrals. Automobile sales back then, not as much now, there's so many people out there, just get the most money you can one time, and there'll always be other people to buy cars. So the approach was totally different. In fact, I'd sold cars for 2 weeks and didn't like it, went back to the leasing business. Now, this is what this guy's going to say to this guy. He said, "I think maybe you could save our dealership. How would you like to come in and take it over and try and save it?" And I'm thinking, you sold cars for 2 weeks and you hated it. You know, why are you going to do this? But I really believe that, you know, God creates moments for us when our life can change. And I felt that was one of those moments. And that even though I didn't know exactly what to do as far as some of the mechanics, I knew concepts of growth. I knew concepts of increase. That's why I had a record-breaking month. And all I had to do was take those same principles and apply them over here. It's the same thing as the turnaround that, you know, Ford Motor Company experienced. They hired a man from Boeing Aircraft, the president of Boeing. He didn't know that much about Ford Motor Company, but he knew the principles of increase. And when they brought him in, he engineered the turnaround for Ford. So I figured I could take that and do that. And make a long story short, we not only saved the dealership, but in the worst economic times that anybody can imagine, when dealers were closing every week and gas prices had doubled, it was a nightmarish time, we were able to increase sales 300%. The dealership skyrocketed to the top 10 in Southern California. And the following month, I bought the dealership from him.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, just changed the course of my life. And that's my life, you know, everything that I've ever done since then has all been from that little meeting at that service drive.
I'll tell you, Bob, that's an amazing story. And every person that I've ever interviewed that was, you know, had reached that pinnacle of success, they've all said the same thing, that success is really more of a mindset. And that it does happen in one day. Obviously, there's much preparation and developing skill sets, but the actual shift of saying, you're almost resigning as the old person and saying, that guy's dead to me, starting tomorrow, it's just, this is the day, that does happen very quickly.
Yeah, I shared the stage for 20 years with Zig Ziglar, who was America's #1 motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And Zig made a powerful statement. He said, success occurs when opportunity meets preparation.
Right.
And sometimes the preparation is, this is something we desire, so we prepare for it. Other times the preparation just could be life's experiences and what we're doing. But all of a sudden, those two come. And when we seize that moment, our life just changes direction.
Well, it's funny that you even mentioned it. Obviously, it was such a great loss for everybody,
Right.
him passing. But I had the privilege of meeting Zig several times, and watching you on stage today, you actually remind me a lot of his stuff. So I can tell you guys shared the stage over
Yes.
20 years because the way you move was very
the
Zig.
3x5 cards.
That's right.
But I didn't do the kneel down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't pump any water out of the well, but hey, I'll tell you.
Yes.
But now I want to say that I know that you're kind of looked at as America's leading increase activist.
Mm-hmm.
And you show people how to get results, not only in their personal life, financial life, but in really all aspects of life. And, you know, from my personal background and belief system, what I noticed is a lot of the things you do are really more Bible principles.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we talk about how you've interviewed different people. I've been so privileged traveling all over the world, over 50 countries, all 50 states, and sharing the stage with some great people. One day of my life, I had lunch with Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister of England, had dinner with Gorbachev.
Oh my goodness.
That was a day. But when I'm with these people, I not only got pictures, but I took notes and I asked them questions if we had opportunity. And virtually all of them would say there was a person or a book that tremendously influenced their life, changed their direction, gave them a thought, whatever it might be, but they always tend to go back to one of the two. And that was the case with me. After we did the dealer turnaround,
Right.
I was in Detroit, Michigan area, and speaking, and my host was this millionaire industrialist, just a sharp guy, and I've been around rich people before. But he didn't just have money. He had a peace to him. He had a love to him. He had a caring attitude. He had a great family, wonderful kids, just a real package. And so I began to ask what was different about him.
Right.
And he said, my life changed when I came across this book and I started applying its principles in my life. And I said, well, how? And he said, well, I was a machine operator. And somebody introduced this book to me as a daily guide to living, and I based my life on it. I became the foreman of the company. Then I bought the company. He said, now I own 9 different corporations. I live at Bloomfield Hills Country Club. My whole life changed. I said, I've got to get that book. He said, you probably already have it. It's called the Bible. And I was introduced to the Bible from a different perspective, not as theology and sermons, but as a daily handbook of how to live our life.
Right.
And I began in the Proverbs and would read a Proverbs every day, underlined them, circled them, put some of them on 3x5 cards, memorized them. And I started basing my life and the way I did my business on Proverbs and then expanded it to other books of the Bible. And so the Bible became the foundation of the way I did my business and the way I tried to make my life. All of us have a mirror. We look in a mirror and we say how we look. But we don't just have a physical mirror, we have a mirror of behavior. And so many people, the mirror is maybe Hollywood, or it's this friend, or it's that, or whatever it might be. I said, my mirror is going to be the Bible. And to the best of my ability, I'm going to live my life according to its teachings and its precepts. And that gave me a foundation to my life. It gave me a knowing of certain principles and what to do in certain situations. It was life-changing.
Well, I'll tell you, we have a clip of you in action. I wanted to show this real quick because like I said, you have a lot of that zig in you, and I actually was almost late coming here because I wanted to catch your speaking. But let's take a quick look,
Is
Bob,
this
in
at the
action
convention center?
right now.
Okay.
Yep.
See, if we don't change our old thinking pattern, we're going to have problems. We're going to keep going to the wrong place. Speaking of wrong place, I've got to tell you about my first trip to Mobile, Alabama. I got a phone call to speak. It was years ago. I got a phone call to speak, and they said, we want you to come to speak at this meeting, a business meeting. It's going to be in Birmingham and in Alabama. And I hadn't been to Alabama before, and I was so excited about it. I talked to my wife, and I said, I'm going to go to Alabama. She said, when I was 12 years old, I live in Mobile. And she said, for the summer, she said, I just so loved it and seeing the mansions, and the people were so friendly. And we talked about Mobile. And so I go to buy my ticket. I buy my ticket to Mobile. I get off the plane here at the airport, and there's nobody to meet me. And I'm saying, where is it? So I dial the number. The number doesn't work. So then I put in the area code. And then this lady answers the phone, and I said, I'm here at the airport. I'm speaking tonight. I said, but there's nobody here to meet me. She said, my husband is there. I said, I don't see him. She said, well, he's at the airline. I said, I'm at the airline baggage. Where is he? And finally she says, what airport are you at? I said, I'm right here in Mobile. She said, honey, you're speaking in Birmingham. I bought a ticket and flown to the wrong city. Now, why would I fly to the wrong city? I knew that I was going to Birmingham because my subconscious mind had become programmed to Mobile. My wife's experiences in Mobile, talking about Mobile, the mansions of Mobile. And so in a time of stress, in a time of excitement, whatever, you bypass the conscious, you go to the subconscious, and that's how you act. And it took me to the wrong place.
Well, I'll tell you, that's great stuff. And
it illustrates the problem that we have. See, my conscious mind knew where I wanted to go.
Right.
But when a person gets under stress or excitement or fear, they divert, they bypass the conscious, go to the subconscious, and whatever's programmed there is what the decision's going to be. And so I got a ticket to the wrong place. And as I shared in the conference here, that's what happens to many people. They set goals, they try to have a certain kind of life, they want to do this diet, or they want to do this or not do this, or change this behavior pattern, whatever it might be. And as long as they're operating in the conscious mind, they can function. But if something derails that, and they get into the subconscious, if they haven't reprogrammed the subconscious, they will revert back to the old behavior pattern, and they'll make a decision that'll cause them to self-destruct. And that's why we see so many times it happens to people that are famous and whatever, is because they've tried to build the new without dealing with the old.
Right.
And so we have to rechange the foundation, and when we rechange the foundation, then we have the firm foundation that we can consistently live our lives out of.
Well, that's certainly a great point for all of us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Bob Harrison. Stay with us.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
Come experience Nolan's. Savor award-winning steaks, Greek-style cuisine, fresh local seafood, and an extensive choice of wines. Whether you'd like to reserve the large private dining room, enjoy a meal on an outdoor deck, or rock the night away in our lounge, Nolan's now celebrating 25 years of exceeding your expectations for casual fine dining, live entertainment, and dancing night.
Thank you. Welcome back. I'm here with the wonderful Bob Harrison. Bob obviously is a very successful entrepreneur, best-selling author, and I know international speaker. You've been all over the place.
Yes.
And I know that
What
you're
an
doing
exciting life. 30 years now, traveling around the world, sharing the message of increase. What a great life.
Well, talk a little bit about the increase events. I know you particularly do a lot in Florida, California, and Hawaii.
Yes.
Sounds like a rough life. I'm a little
Right.
jealous. But talk a little bit about the events that you're doing.
When we go to speak wherever it might be, we let the people know that we have specific events that really are, it's a gathering of eagles. It's where business owners and sales achievers and pastors and people that think and operate on a different level, or people that want to get there, can come and just immerse themselves. Sometimes for change to happen fast, there has to be an immersion. And so that's what we give them. We go to a luxury resort, we bring them to Hawaii or Fort Lauderdale or Naples or Palm Springs. And from 3 to 5 days, they come together. We bring in great speakers. We have 4 to 7 speakers every day.
Wow.
And really great people. Like my next one is Miles Monroe, and Australia's #1 success speaker. And we have
Dan
people
Vega
like,
is coming on. I heard
just
something.
great people.
Yeah.
But we're done at 1 o'clock. Oh, I got that. Okay. I just got that. Oh, you're good. Yeah. You'd be good, I can tell. Yeah. But we're done at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the teaching, it's the idea exchanging that takes place.
Sure.
If the people would like to get information on it, they
Yeah, where can they get information?
just go to www.increase.org. It's www.increase.org, or call us 918-496-3399, and we can give you information, and there's early bird registration discounts and whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a little bit about, all of us, and I mentioned this earlier, I interviewed Brian Tracy, and, growing up, we all start somewhere. I started kind of in the direct sales, door-to-door type thing, and people pulled me aside and they said, listen, you need to get on some books and self-educate or you're going to die.
Right.
And but growing up, who were some of your mentors or people that you really looked to help?
It would depend on the arena of my life, and the season of my life.
Yeah.
The mentors will change based upon the season we're in or the area we want to have growth. I had a spiritual mentor in the 60s and 70s, but then as I grew, then I needed somebody that had a different perspective or different growth. And so my perspective would have changed in the 80s and a different one in the 90s. And so a mentor isn't always a fixed person. It can change based upon the season that we're at. And sometimes a mentor could be a person that we don't even talk to. I had this young man from Norway. He came to one of my Increase events, and he said, I just wanted to tell you, he said, you're my mentor. I had never met him before.
Sure.
He said, I got a hold of your series on Increase Mindset, which is our #1 selling increase. So how do we change our core belief system? He said, I drove around all over Norway with you. He said, I want you to know as a result of that, in 90 days' time, my income doubled. In 90 days' time, it doubled again. In 90 days, it doubled again. He said, I am now making over $100,000 a month. He said, and it all began when I drove around and you mentored me. So mentors don't always have to be people that we're with. We think, oh, can I get them to mentor me? We can be mentored by people we're driving around with. My friend Miles Monroe talks about that. He said, my life changed when I converted my car into a mobile learning center.
Yeah, I know many talk about like Automobile University.
Yes, that's right.
Let me ask you a question. You get a testimonial from, I know you're residing currently in the Tulsa area.
And Palm Springs.
And Palm Springs.
I have to have a break.
Yeah, right. But, how does it make you feel? You get somebody from across the world or in Norway saying, listening to your body of work changed my life in so many different ways. I mean, what is that?
The feeling that I get is multiple. Number one, I feel a tremendous sense of responsibility that wherever I am, whoever I'm speaking to, whether it's 50 people or just recently 30,000 people at the Georgia Dome, that I give my very best and do my best because there's people out there that my words could be an answer to their future.
Right.
And so I feel a tremendous sense of responsibility. I also feel a great sense of humility that God would choose to place me in this position to do this. and the sense that I would be faithful in the call to try and do my best at it. And so I would have to say it's those two. I never walk on stage without being nervous, because every time's the first time for that audience.
Well, and I heard you out there say that when you used to make eye contact is when you would go blank. And that seems hard to believe now, seeing you speak and seeing you in action. But it's definitely been a big journey.
When we took over the Chrysler dealership, we did the first commercial. It wasn't selling cars, it was kind of selling us. And so all they wanted me to do was to introduce myself and my wife and my children, and just kind of create a warm feeling for Bob Harrison before you talk about merchandise. And they set up 1 hour to do this take. We started at 3, we were still there at sunset. I was so nervous when I would look in the camera, I forgot the name of my wife, I forgot the name of my kids. Yeah. One time I forgot the name of my dealership. And it was Bob Harrison Chrysler Plymouth. I mean, how can you forget that? But see, I said, if I'm going to succeed in this arena, I can't accept this limitation. Yeah. Too many times we accept the limitations that we have, but we can really overcome them. I'm always trying to challenge things. They didn't get the picture on out there. The guy missed it, but I had a picture this last year of me with a tarantula on my head. Just last week, for my first time, I went zip lining.
Wow.
I mean, to somebody else, that might not seem like a big thing, but it was scary for me. I'm just this little wire, and I'm going out in the open air, and I'm going to jump. But I'm always challenging those edges, because it's going to make me a better person. Yeah. And if I overcome in one area, I'm going to overcome in another area.
That's right. Well, you're certainly a great example to so many people out there. And I know with your wife, Sharon, you have, is it 8 children and 18 grandchildren or something like that?
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, my first wife, Cindy, passed away after 37 years. And I lived a single life for 10 years. One of the hardest things I've ever been through, because I got married at 19, and so I was never used to being by myself. I didn't even have an image of me.
Sure.
And but it was a time of great personal growth. And by the way, one of the things that really helped me in that season, I started preparing for the next season. I've learned to embrace the season that I'm in and do the very best it is, even if it's unpleasant. But always be preparing for the season that I want to go to. And that's one of the secrets of success. We do the best we can with where we're at, but if it's not where we want to stay, we're preparing for the move. Right. So when that move comes, we're ready to make the change. And so Sharon is a lady I'd known for 40 years. In 1970, I was the road manager for their singing group, and they came back into my life, and so I went from 15 grandchildren to now 19 grandchildren, and 5 of mine and 3 of hers. That's 8, so it's a big family.
Wow, you got an army.
Yeah, when we do a reunion, we get a school bus.
Yeah, I bet. Well, listen, Bob, for our viewers out there, real quick, that are maybe they've been laid off in this economy, or maybe they've had this dream, but they were fearful of getting out there and following and pursuing their dream. What advice could you give our viewers, that are looking to be aspiring to be entrepreneurs?
Number one, recognize that your success is really not dependent upon the outside environment. What happens to the company, the economy, those people around you. That more than anything else, your success is based upon what happens within you. And so if you will bring the right input in, then you will be positioning yourself for the breakthrough and the turnaround that is waiting for you down the road. And so I would say to you now, start listening to motivational teaching. Start reading the Bible and learning some of its success principles. Start going to some success seminars. Watch Dan all the time and listen to the interviews so that you're getting fed. Right. And as you do that, you start to position yourself now when the opportunity comes and it passes other people by, you're able to embrace it because you're mentally, physically, and spiritually ready for that opportunity. Wow. And then your life will change.
Well, I got to tell you, I feel inspired and rejuvenated, Bob, just sitting here. And it's such a pleasure having you here.
Oh,
thank you so much for giving us a few minutes.
Yes.
And that's our show. We're out of time. But don't forget to get involved in your local community. Be forgiving of others. Good night, everybody. Hi, I'm Dan Vega, entrepreneur and host of the Gulf Coast's favorite new talk show, Tuesdays with Dan. Join us every Tuesday where we come together and share success principles that will not only help you in your business, but in your personal life. Don't worry, this isn't some boring business talk show. It's an opportunity not only to hear from your favorite entrepreneurs and celebrity guests, but to receive real value every week. Check us out late night after Jimmy Kimmel and The Insider, or at 8 a.m. on My 35. You won't want to miss it.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call a Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
Come experience Nolan's. Savor award-winning steaks, Greek-style cuisine, fresh local seafood, and an extensive choice of wines. Whether you'd like to reserve the large private dining room, enjoy a meal on an outdoor deck, or rock the night away in our lounge, Nolan's now celebrating 25 years of exceeding your expectations for casual fine dining, live entertainment, and dancing nights.